Okay, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahushai. All praise to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, double honor to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the elect. Alright, 1 second. Alright, basically, I want to go into a topic. Check something here. Alright, basically, I want to go into a topic. I wrote the topic down. It's going to be called Your Steps Will Be Ordered Through Correction. All right, because several scriptures come to mind. I mainly want to focus on Proverbs, the 3rd chapter, and just go into that. But I'm going to start off with the precept from which actually ties into the topic as well. This is Sirach chapter 2 verse 1. We'll start from there. And this basically goes into the lesson at hand, and Lord willing, this will be edified, man. Excuse me. This is Sirach chapter 2 verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at the last end. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient without change to a lower state. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. Right, because it's talking about, catching hell. Your soul, your spirit, your body going through temptation. Why? Because you're serving the Lord, and that's a part of the job description. So with that, you're gonna have stumbles, you're gonna have humps, to where, you're gonna go off, you're gonna do the wrong thing, you're gonna chasten yourself, get on yourself, and the main thing is not to be the same person you was yesterday, but actually correct your mistakes, and then move forward and to order your steps right, so you don't make the same mistakes again. Because the scripture says what? A just man falleth 7 times and geteth back up, but the wicked falleth into mischief. Right? So we don't want to continue on and doing the same thing over and over. We want to, make the corrections and keep it pushing, so to speak. All right. So that's ultimately, with Sirach, the 2nd chapter, 1 through 6 is saying. All right. It said, whatever happens to you, take it cheerfully, man, because the Lord, he's going to chasten you, he's going to correct you. All right. Now, Lord will, I'll come back to that. Now, what I want to do is I want to start off. This is I'm gonna just read it, and I'm because I'm not gonna really mess with the laptop too much. All right, I kind of got it where I need it and want it to be, So let me go to the point where I want to go in my scriptures. This is Proverbs, 3rd chapter, right? And this is, it's the spirit, because these are basic scriptures. These are scriptures that we hear all the time. Some brothers know it offhand, and can actually repeat these scriptures. But it's important to go back into these scriptures, and then, get all the meat off the bones, So this is Proverbs 3. I'm going to focus on from 3 all the way down to 12. All right. And it says Proverbs 3 and 1. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. Right. And the scriptures talk about in Romans that Paul said, I'll give you unto a new law, the law of faith. All right. So when we read this, you got to read this with understanding, and understand that when we read this, we read it in the time, the season of now. What season are we in? So we're talking in the season of where, we're not able to keep the law 100%. With all we can do is have faith on Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and basically focus on the scriptures in its entirety, and not just the law of Moses. All right. Continuing on, it says verse 2. All right, verse 2. For length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Right, because the scriptures does mention that the law is the law of life. However, again, going into the time of now, the scripture says what? That Yahweh Shai, came to give everlasting life, man. life everlasting, if you will. All right, the famous scripture, John 3:16, for God so loved the world, or the Most High loved the world, which the world is talking about Israel, that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believe in him, right, whosoever have faith and keep that law of life, right, shall not perish but have everlasting life. All right, so that's what the life, that's what the length of days is. That's what the long life is, being the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven. All right. 1 second. Salaki, I'm getting distractions. Satan. All right. Verse 3, it says, let not mercy and truth forsake thee. All right. Let me go back. I'm sorry. I got a little sidetracked. This is Proverbs 3:1. My son, forget not my law, but let thine heart, meaning the mind. All right. That's why it's important to go into the Hebrew and read this with understanding. Let thine heart, meaning your mind, keep my commandments. Now, the word keep in the Hebrew is shamar, all right, when you go into it. Now, the word shamar means also to watch. So we also constantly supposed to have our minds set on the prize at hand, all right? Salakia, give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm back. Salakia. All right, so yeah, like I was saying, the verse 1, it says, my son, forget not my law, but let thine heart keep my commandments. The heart is the mind. To keep means to watch. So we're supposed to constantly keep our minds on this truth, to be a better brother in this truth. All right. Verse 2, for length of days and long life and peace shall they add to thee. Right. Continuing on, it says, let not mercy and truth forsake thee. Bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart. I mean, we always it's a stressing and reiterating the point of always having your mind on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay. Verse 4, it says, so shalt thou find favor and good understanding in the sight of the Most High and man. What man do we find good sight under? First of all, Yahweh Shai, and then also too, the true men of the Lord, which are on the planet Earth today, man. All right. So a good understanding will keep you in good company. Real quick, I'll get that scripture because it all goes into knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. All right. Right. So this is Sirach 11:1. Wisdom lift up the head of him of low degree. Okay, and maketh him to sit among great men. All right. So, when you have wisdom, you have proper understanding. All right. It will get you among great men. All right. Even if you're a younger man in this truth, right? Even if you're a younger man in this truth and you got heads of your camp, the heads of your camp will bring you around, man. We're going to kick it with this brother. He's a man of understanding. He's a man of wisdom. This he's a humble brother, So, hey, man, all rules apply, man. All right. Continuing on, it says, verse 5. These are the main points I want to get between 5 and 8. It says, trust in the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, with all thine heart, and lean not on thine own understanding. Right? Because as men coming into this truth, coming into this faith, some of us, we knew a lot in the world or whatever we knew, and sometimes Satan will try to make you apply whatever knowledge you had in the world into the truth. However, it says lean not on your own understanding, right? Because coming into the knowledge of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, we've been created a new man. That's the point of the, how the church world, they say being born again. All right. So we've been born again. All right. Being a new man, really putting on a full arm of manhood, if you will. All right. Continuing on, it says, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. See, and that goes back to what I read earlier in Sirach, the 2nd chapter, man. Because it's going to be ups. You're going to have ups. You're going to have downs. And mainly, the point is, man, to basically acknowledge Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai and everything. All right. So I want to go into this verse real quick. Verse 6. Proverbs 3 and 6. Let me pull this up. All right. So it says, Bukal Darak Yaka, right? So you have the word Bukal, all right, which Ba means in, call means all, right? So in all, right? Darak Yaka, which means thy ways, okay, which is the word Darak, the word ways. When you go into it, I don't want to click it right now, but it talks about the manner, your mannerisms, your conduct. And all your conduct, acknowledge, right? Now it says acknowledge him. Who's the him? Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Acknowledge. The word knowledge goes back to Yadai, which means knowledge. How do you do that? With the fear of the Lord. The scripture says what? Since I'm right here. All right, Proverbs 1 and 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. All right. So, yeah. So, you want to acknowledge Yahweh Bashim Yahushai and everything. How do you do that? With the fear of the Lord, knowing that there's a consequence to everything. The scripture says what? He that soweth unto a spiritual shall reap spirituals. He that soweth unto the flesh shall reap corruption. Actually, let me see. I think that's Galatians. It said, he that soweth to the spirit shall reap life everlasting, if I'm not mistaken. All right? Salaki, let me get this right here. All right? I want to get that scripture. This is, I believe it's Galatians, the 6th chapter. Let me look it up. All right? That's the spirit, man, because I didn't Galatians 6 and 8. That's right. That's right. See, that hits the point. That's the point. That's the spirit right there. All right. So I'm gonna go to verse 7 first. It says, "Be not deceived. The Most High is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap." Right. So if you have the fear of the Lord, you conduct in the fear of the Lord, you're gonna reap the benefits of it. It says, "For he that soweth to the flesh shall of the flesh reap corruption. Shall the flesh reap corruption. But he that soweth to the spirit shall to the spirit reap life everlasting." See, and that goes right hand in hand with the point right here, man. All right. So you gotta sow, you gotta sow on a good seed, man. You gotta sow, you gotta water the word, All right, let me just keep going. All right. It says, in all thy ways acknowledge him and direct thy paths, right? So if you understand the fear of the Lord, in your mannerisms, in your conduct, right? And you trying to please Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? Right? And what's going to happen? He shall direct thy paths, right? See, that's the only way you can order your steps right, by having a fear of the Lord, man. All right? And it's also through correction. Okay? So when you go into this word, I already have it pulled up here. The word Yashar, that was the word for direct. Let's see what it says. It says, please. Okay, where's the okay. See, another word for it is, I like to go into this straight, direct, right. Okay. Well, let's go into the directions. To be right, to be straight, be level, be upright, be just, be lawful, be smooth. Okay? Be smooth. All right? To go straight. To be pleasing, agreeable, be right, to be straightforward, be upright. Okay? To be upright means what? Being in a good sight of the eyes of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. To make right, and also too, I gotta express the point, man, to the men in your camp, to the elder men that's in your camp, because brothers have been in the truth. You have brothers, you have heads of camps, you have elders of camps, that have been in the truth going on 10 years, man. It would be imperative that you get into in a good light with those men. All right. Just like hypothetically, if the apostles to come around to your camp, or whatever the case is, you going, oh, okay, the apostles around, let me do right. Hey, man, you're supposed to be like that with the elder men in your camp as well, man. With the younger men in your camp. You're supposed to want to do right, man. All right. But anyway, it says to right. It says to make right, make smooth, make straight, to lead, direct, lead straight along, to esteem right, approve, to be made level. All right. Meaning balanced. That's the key element in this truth, man. Is to be balanced, man. Paul said, I knew how to abase and I knew how to abound, man. All right? Be laid smoothly out, right? Because the scriptures talk about how we are lively stones, and the stones have the right fit into the building, man. If your stone is unleveled, then you ain't gonna fit into the building, man. All right? And the building, which is the temple, which is Yahweh Shai, which represents the body of Yahweh Shai, man. All right? To make straight, look straight. All right? Why? Because you want to straight and narrow, man. Your eye is supposed to be single, man. And I want to get that too while I'm here. You know? Let's go back here. All right? Let me get that real quick. Right. Now, when we see the word straight here, STRIGHT, we know it means to be straight. Now, when you read Matthew the 7th chapter, right? When you read Matthew the 7th chapter, okay, I'm gonna read it. This is Matthew 7:12. Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way, and lead to destruction, and many there be which go in there eat, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. Right, now we know that the word straight there, okay, the word straight here is not necessarily talking about the angle being straight, or meaning the opposite of crooked. All right, let me just go into it. The word is stenos. Okay, right. Now when you go into it, the root of it says to cause or make to stand, to place, to put, to set, like the word yashar, man. You know, which means to be upright, to be level, man. All right, because essentially it is talking about being straight as well. How do we know that, right? That's why you go to Proverbs. I'm not Proverbs. Second Ezra, the 7th chapter. All right. From the beginning, it says, and when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me the angel which had been sent unto me the nights before. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great, but put the entrance where narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? Right. If he can't go through the path of difficulty, how can he go through the broad, man? Meaning, what's the broad? The kingdom, right? It says, there is also another thing, a city is built and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in dangerous place to fall. Right? Where a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water, and one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there so small that there could but one man go there at once. If this city now were given unto a man an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? Right, and that's the point, man. You know, because the path, it's a path of difficulty, right? Why is it a path of difficulty? Because there's going to be many obstacles in this truth, all right? So throughout the obstacles, you gotta, find a way to, through the Spirit of the Lord, you gotta have the fear of the Lord. You have to have the understanding why, for what, to get on that, to stay on that straight path. Because you can't stay on the straight path on your own. All right. The scriptures say that our adversary, the devil, seeketh and lurking, whom he may devour, man. All right. There's many ways that you can sidetrack or fall off. There's many ways where you can get distracted, but the fear of the Lord is what's going to keep you, and His correction. All right. So I want to keep going. All right. This is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 7. It says, "Be not wise in thine own eyes. Fear the Lord and depart from evil." All right. So going into the same concept, man. You don't fall for the wiles of the devil. Right. It says, "It shall be health to thy navel and marrow to thy bones." Right. So this is all revolving around the fear of the Lord, being straight, being upright, being a better man than the Lord. Right. It says, "Be not wise in thy own eyes," man. You got to do what's asked of you, man. And that's basically to do the work, link up with the brethren, the brotherly love, study the scriptures, act out the scriptures, man. All right. It says, "It shall be health to thy navel," and the navel represents your strength when you go into it. All right. Your abdomen, man, which, if you understand anatomy, everything is connected to your abs. If you have strong abs, you have a strong core, man. All right. So it said that it should be health to your core, man, to your navel. It says, "in marrow to thy bones." Now the word marrow here, all right, the word marrow, it says to drink. It says drink and refreshment. Now, if the brothers will understand, you should know where this is going, man, because that's ultimately where the opposite of the valley of dry bones, man. Which the valley of dry bones was basically Israel dead, man. All right, it was basically Israel not with understanding the valley of dry bones. All right, so these key ingredients will keep you alive, man. That give you that life everlasting, man, which is promised unto the elect. All right. I'm going to continue. Verse 9. "Honor the Lord with thy substance and with the first fruits of all thine increase." Meaning, every time we supposed to go, that's why the scripture said that in, let me go to it. This is Sirach chapter 2, right? It says, "My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation, set thy heart aright, right? And constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at the last end." See, now that's what it says. It says, "Honor the Lord with thy substance," because through the trial, through the error, there's a learning process, and that's our substance. All right, our substance is our gain, the lessons that we learn. So we acknowledge, we say, "Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahushai," through everything. It says, "And with the first fruits of all thy increase," same concept. And this is not literal, man. Because we don't have an increase here physically. We don't have true substance. We don't have a carnal substance in this world. So how do we apply this now? We apply this now with the intangible things, man. All right. It says, "And with the first fruits of all thy increase." Verse 10. "So shall thy barns be filled with plenty, and thy presses shall burst out with new wine." Right. Because when you acknowledge Yahweh Shai and all your steps, he's going to feed you. You're gonna get that that drink, that refreshment. You're gonna get that new wine, which is, that's why the scripture says what? John 7:38. All right, it says, "He that believeth on me, as the scripture has saith," not how you want to do it, not the angle you want to pull. He said, "Out of his belly, which is his mind, shall have." Let me just get it. I don't want to mess it up. Basic scripture, but it's cool. All right. John chapter 7, verse 38. It says, "He that believeth on me, as the scripture have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water." Right. And that's the knowledge, wisdom, understanding, because the more knowledge you increase, the more faith you're gonna be able to have. And then in that time, you have a sure foundation, man. In the time of Jacob's trouble, you'll have a sure foundation. You have plenty of wine to share. You have plenty of substance to lean on. Right? I'm gonna close out with these two verses, and maybe one more verse in Luke. It says, Proverbs 3:11. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, neither be weary of his correction. Right? For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth, even as a father the son in whom he delighteth. See? And that's the point right there, man. So you go through all that, all that when you get the fear of the Lord. When you first come into the knowledge, you get the fear of the Lord. That's this way your knowledge increases. Then you start to go through hardships, right? And the Lord starts to test you and see which way you're going to sway. You're going to stay on the straight and narrow, right? You're going to stay on the path of difficulty, or you're going to hand over to the right, or you're going to hand over to the left. And then throughout that trial, he's going to see if you're worthy, right? If you're worthy to still honor Yahweh Shem Yahushua in that trial and tribulation, and whether or not he's still going to feed you even more. And that's when your level of understanding increase, and that's when he'll make you upright. That's when that Yashar will come in, man. Okay, that's what that comes into play, man. All right, and I'll just read this real quick on again the life everlasting. Okay, this is Luke chapter 18. I believe the verse is 11. No, verse 28. I'm sorry. This is a Luke 18:28. Then Peter said, Lo, we have left all and followed thee. And he said unto them, Verily I say unto you, there is no man that have left house or parents or brethren or wife or children for the kingdom of the Most High's sake, right? Because that's what's going to happen, man. When you first come into this knowledge, even throughout the knowledge, even 6, 7, 8, 9 years in, there's going to be a constant fat trimming, man. A constant refreshment, like the scripture said, man. You're going to have to constantly add water, man. Verse 30 says, Who shall not receive manifold more in this present time, right? And in the world to come, life everlasting. All right. So in the present time, Yahweh Shem Yahushua is going to feed you with more and more knowledge, right? To where we're in the end of the season, when Jacob troubles come, you're going to be tempted of the word. You're going to be tempted to do things that are outside the scriptures. All right. But when you forsake those things, you'll be fed more abundantly. All right. With the knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Right. And then when it's time to get those crowns, if you surpass those tests and those trials and those tribulations, then you will get the life everlasting, man. Then you will receive that crown of life, like the scriptures say. All right, but with that, all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the elect, man.